Alright, I think he beats Cheetah. I think he beats Belial. I don't know where I stand on Bubs. Uh, yeah, let's just do it this way. Oh, wait. Give me a second. What's good? You think Cat is a bad matchup? All the matchups you just listed, I think, are 5-5. Oh, the hardest even matchups. I thought you just said. I just saw hardest matchups. Good job, Zero. I wasn't matched with him at all. Give me a second. I don't think Lance is hard. Zeta, Zeta's weird. Fairy, I think is actually fine. Fairy, I actually like fighting Lance, Percival Fairy. Yeah, that's why I like Lance. Like, that's why I'm like trying to like pick up my Percival. Like, Lance's game plan is kind of just uniform. This has not been updated. I actually don't think Belial is hard. Contrary to like popular belief. It's hard online, but I don't think it's hard offline. So I guess today's discussion is personal matchup there. So Lord of Flames. Uh even slight advantage. I don't think actually no so I don't know slight disadvantage. Oh, so I can flame. Listen, I already got flame. I got flame right here. Alright, give me a second. We doing this for the clout. Hold on. Let me take this off. What's up, Alderon? Working on Percy tier list on Percy matchup chart with KizzieKay. Cause we gotta get the clout. You about to flame me? Damn. Why can't we just have like a nice civil discussion? What the hell's your name? Why can't I find your name? Alright, give me a second. Let me just use the bathroom where we can start this call. Okay. Okay. Why is my Facebook on? Kizzie.
Dog, I didn't want to have to do this to you on Sunday, bro.
Hold on.
I didn't want to have to do this to you on a Sunday, bro.
On a Sunday?
Yeah, I didn't want to have to do this on a Sunday. It's church day, bro. But I'm going to have to put you 6 feet on a couple of inches, bro.
How does Kizzie sound now? I'm at.
Oh, they didn't hear what I had to say.
Nah, yeah.
Look, I didn't want to have to do this to you on a Sunday, bro.
Bruh.
Sorry, dog.
Listen, I've literally been up for like 4 hours. Cut me some slack.
Nah. See, if I cut you slack, you ain't gonna learn, bro. Nah, bro.
Why you always do this to me, though? Why only me?
So look, I turned my timer on my phone, so we got 45 minutes, right? So after 45 minutes, I'm gonna flame you. So let's get to a civil discussion. But then once the 45-minute hit, there's no civilizing anymore, bro. We bandits.
That's crazy.
We bandits, bro.
All right. Oh my god, this is. Oh my god. All right. I guess it's easier to start with the even matchups. So
look. So the reason why I'm saying, and you can say your opinion afterwards, and we could discuss on that. So the reason why I'm saying Lancelot's even, right, is because we know that every situation up close for Lancelot is majority of his favor outside of like what, 2 characters, right? Not a lot of characters can really deal with him up close because his records are all, like -4, like mind games, where you could press a button, but if you press a button like this, you could get counter hit, and it can lead to everything else. Correct? So Percival not being able to do like close L from like a far range, it's really hard to like shut that down, right? So in that particular range, when he gets in there, it's really hard. It's really difficult because you gotta make a play. You gotta make commitments, right? And if you're wrong, he gets rewarded like a lot. But everywhere else, Percival gets rewarded way more higher than him, right? Can we agree with that? Are we on the same page? Are we civil?
Yep.
You see my civilians, I see yours, right? We allies,
Yep.
So, with that being said, because neutral is so important in this game, and it's very hard to like kind of just like disrespect if the players are very aware. You have to think of like, okay, yeah, Lancelot has like a projectile, but with the changes, the projectile goes away and it leaves him on counter hit state. So he can't just like throw shit out for free if you're anticipating, right? Neutral jump L, sweep, like even Percival has like a slide that is safe if you know how to space it properly. So you have all these little variations that Lancelot has to keep in mind with. And because he don't have any ranges to fight with outside up close, there's only 2 options he has. Either he respects Percival or he does not respect Percival, right? So chances are, if he tries to do a disrespectful thing and he's wrong, that's a lot of damage that he's going to lose. Or that's a lot of damage he's going to take. Correct? Are we on the same page on that?
Correct.
Right. So and then in a lively deficit, what can he do unless he's close? And if the Percival player knows that the only way for him to do crazy shit is to get close, he's going to scout out 2 options: air options and 6-6H. If you're really good at scouting out 6-6H, what is there else to look for besides EX Fireball that doesn't go even full screen?
Okay, so
I give you time. You should pause that because I think this is going to be a big thought process. Yeah.
Okay, so I agree with you for the most part on. I agree with you on the most part for Percival versus Lancelot. It's really just range dependent. Lance gets bullshit up close. That's kind of hard to contest with. Percival gets his rocks off.
Percival gets bullshit when he's on the attacking end, but I'm speaking on like when he like when I think of Lancelot, I think of like shit that it's like it's not like he can't slide through my fireball. You know, he can't
Yeah,
slide through my fireball, but yeah, he could jump at it, but his jump is floaty. So if he jumps late on reaction, he's not getting a punish. He has to predict a jumping. He has to anticipate a fireball. He has to react before the fireball even comes out. So because of that particular thing, that is really hard for Lancelot to just like outright beat this character, right? It's fair. It's fair. It's like, oh, if I make a commitment, you know, this is the reward I get, and if you're wrong, then this is the reward that person will get. That's why I think that's a label even, right?
yeah,
As far as like damage output, we can exchange damage, and Percival's gonna win that, right? So
yes,
as far as I don't know if you have anything else to say on that because I was gonna go on Matera.
yeah. Matera's fine.
Matera, like literally the only thing that Matera has above Percival is I cannot get stocks for free.
Yeah,
That's literally the only thing that makes this matchup even. The fact that I can't get any knockdown, nothing for free. But the thing is about it is the moment I get a stock, that matchup is not even like in her favor anymore. But it's even because a Matera player can play so good to actually not make me stock up. Like I actually fought a Matera player that never let me stock up one round, and I was like, okay, this is how you could play this matchup if you're really good all the time. And I think that's pretty impressive. But
agree.
so I and also the fact that her 4L beats like a lot of Percival's normals is also really good. It may not do crazy ass reward, and that's what everybody thinks of nowadays when they have a normal. But the fact that you could keep everything I do on the ground honest is so good. It's so good that you can literally keep a character like looking at a button the whole game if you're good enough, right? If you're good enough. Because obviously the things I'm talking about, it's not something that you can just wake up in the morning and just have the thought process, right? It's about like understanding how to condition people to not disrespect you in the ground game. So if you can actually get that respect, what can I do outside of just jump? Yeah, I jump and you shoot an arrow. It's not arrow blockable, but the fact that I'm not hitting you and the fact that I'm still in your arrow range and in your hop range, that's really good. You know, that's pretty nice. I'd like to have that too, right? But obviously we can't have that, right? But things like that. But the moment I get stocks, everything turns around because now I can start making commitments that are safe on block, and also the slide that if I get an M slide off, I get 3 stocks for free, regardless of how you tech. It doesn't matter. That's a free. That's a 3 free stock. So that's actually pretty scary. Uh, and the fact that yeah, the moment I get stocks, it literally makes it feels like you really have to stop everything I'm doing, and then that's when it becomes hard because now my options are safe, and I can get a like a nice OP situation, right?
Yeah.
That benefits me.
As,
So that's
as,
how I feel on her.
as far as Matera's concerned, I feel like the matchup is only, and I say hard. I say hard like in quotes. Like the matchup is only difficult until I get stocks. The moment I get stocks, it's just like okay, I'm eventually gonna push you
Right,
to the corner. You have low health. I have high damage. You have a 6 frame. Your SBA is slow
right,
as shit, so you can't even challenge it in
right.
certain situations.
Right.
Like
Yeah, we're not even. Like the fact that we want to talk about reverses. The moment I get on top of her, like she shakes my hand, like free. But as far as that, that's pretty obvious on that, right? And for Catalina, the way I look at Catalina and Percival is I look at them as literally the
yes,
same
agree.
character, and they both play the same way. But one has an advantage early, and one has an advantage later. So Percival has the advantage later, but
Hmm.
Catalina has the advantage early, right?
Yeah,
Because Catalina could convert easily early because she don't need stocks,
stocks.
but Percival just convert somewhere that she can't convert, which is like mid screen. She can't do like button to super and it's gonna work. But you know who could? Percival can. So because if you could get to that range and you could get to that situation, then obviously Percival has the advantage in terms of normals interaction and stuff like that and positioning. because you don't have to walk in. You could walk out, and you could play outside of that range. Before, Catalina could literally just sit out of your far H range and literally hit outfoots you from like 3/4 of the screen. You had to like hold that, right? That shit was frustrating, right? But now when you're doing that, when he has 100 meter, it becomes different now because now you don't need a button. Now you could walk at her and she has to come and fight you now because you're gonna just corner her. And the moment you get in the corner, any touch you get that's really clean is shake my hand. It's pretty bad, right? Of course her jump ins are really good. Percival jump ins are good, but they're not like they're not like they're not like the good of like, oh, you're definitely going to get this. You're definitely going to get this jump in for free. And if they have an anti-air that's good enough, that shit don't matter. But it matters to Percival a lot. Like he's really big in the air, so he can't just like jump in for free. And she can kind of jump in for free, but
Jump
like,
you.
yeah, jump you. I mean, it's fine, right? Like
Yeah.
the thing is about it. What I like about that the fact that even though her jump you is like ridiculous, she's not fast. So it's really easy to kind of scout when she wants to jump, right? She's a slow character, or she's an average speed character,
Agreed.
like below average. Yeah, so that's fine. As for Fairy, that's another matchup that like a lot of people argue that it was like 7-3 for her against Percy. That shit was cap. That was cap.
That was an actual argument.
Yeah, that was actually argument, and I always wanted to run the fade on against everybody, but I was, being civilized Kizzie here. We just wanted to just have a civilized discussion, right? But moral story, this matchup is pretty tricky in a lot of ways because honestly, the only way, like, if she wouldn't have got certain nerfs, that matchup would actually be in her favor. But because she kind of got a couple of nerfs too, it actually kind of helped Percival out in a neutral aspect because now her moves are like slower and that gives you more time to like move because you're slow. Like the fact that her normal slowed down and you're a slow character, it actually makes things better. And that's why I really like that matchup in terms of like it's fair. It's like Dawson versus like it's like a Dawson versus like Ken, Ryu, and every other character that has godlike ass tools, like from mid range to far range to close range, right? As far as like the low health aspect too, the fact that she has low health also makes the matchup a little bit more easier for him too, because once you get in, it counts. Every hit counts.
And she has a 6 frame.
And she has 6 frames. Yeah, you could have took advantage of the 6 frame last patch because of the EX slide, but now it's kind of hard. But
I hate that.
There are other ways that you could like. There's other ways you could do because you got to understand when you do like slide, if you space it right, she can't far L and like do anything else after that because it's like -7, I want to say. So I think you could sweep punish it. So there was times where like if I see the far L on block, I would mash sweep and that shit would say punish. So that is a very scary thing for her because if you know how to play in that range and she's like trying to like fight back with far L, it's really hard for her. And then when she starts committing to other buttons and you get like a jump in, oh, she smoked. Crouching, when she do 2M, you jump that shit, she getting smoked. That's losing bracket if you know how to optimize that shit, right? So it's like little things like that that's really hard for her. Like in the long game. Neutral, that shit is hard, but because she beats almost everybody in neutral. So that shit is hard. But as far as like exchanges and like normal presses and like positioning on the screen, like you have a good fighting chance. You just have to be really, really patient of not playing with stocks. And I think that's a lot of people issue when I watch them play is they never play the character stockless. Like they don't have a game plan stockless. They only have a game plan with stocks. And because back in the old patch where you could just get a free ass knockdown stockless, people have like lost their way. It's like they're fucking refugees now, like they just left the village saying the village was destroyed, but then you go back to the village and like, yo, the village is good. We got apples, we got food, everything, but it was like, nah, it's destroyed, and I'm just like, they got in their own mind that this shit was destroy, but in reality, all it did was just quality of life changes and things like that, right? That's how I feel on that matter. As for Bubs, so Bubs pre-patch, I would say that shit was like Bubs' worst matchup.
Free.
I wouldn't say it's the worst matchup for him now, but it's still advantage for Percival. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that, like, when you think of like Beelzebub's normals, exchanges, and things like that, he don't really get a lot of reward off like far H, like hitting you from a far distance. Only at a certain distance when you're like approaching, right? So the thing is about it is Percival gets punishes. He gets punishes from those ranges, right? So you don't want to go far H's so freely, right? So you know what that means? That means you're going to jump a lot. That means you're going to try to jump a lot and mix up EX dive. But once EX dive is out the window, his reversal options are actually really weak. Like, I actually would say his EX dive is a better reversal than his DP, and that's an interesting take. And the reason why I'm thinking about it like that is because that shit is unreactable. You know, that like certain ranges that you sit in, you gotta, like, you actually just gotta be like, dive is coming. You know, like, it's such a respectable move. It's that strong. But another thing you have to keep in mind too is Percival do have options against that. It may not be a super rewarding option, but the fact that you get 500 damage off of a stop of an EX move that was trying to approach you, and like you actually interrupt it, I think 500 damage over an EX move is super rewarding. That's how I look at it. The fact that you spend an EX move and I did jump light and I stop your EX dive free, that's godlike reward, because the moment I land down, I get a free dash. I get a free dash. M dash, L dash, whatever range you're in. That's a free dash. That means I am in your face here. Now, what are you going to fight me with? Because now you've already given up EX dive. That means that you have about 5 seconds to capitalize on that one bad error that you try to bank on, you know. And there's not a lot of options you're going to do. You're not going to do wake up EX fireball, you know, or, you know, you're going to commit to EXDP, and then once that gets baited, then you're really in trouble, right? So that means your options are already limited. And that's the thing, is I feel like as Beelzebub, I feel like his sole purpose is trying to EX dive me the whole time. He cannot do anything else outside of that. He could use 2M, but the problem is with 2M is the fact that he's crouching, and then that means that he is more vulnerable, and I mean his hurt box is lingering, and that means he's more vulnerable of getting hit by any button that Percival decides to whiff punish him with. And he's slow. So it's not like he could just run at you know? And teleport, I mean, you could just sex that shit up. Like, you literally just like, oh, you teleport, lore strike, 2,800 damage, you know? Like, that's whatever, you know? And then that's the thing. It's like, Beelzebub, he only has one way to, like, get himself back in the game. And that's literally EX dive. Literally just EX dive. If you're on point, it's not like he could karma you. You know, you roll and you smoke him, or you jump, you smoke him. You know, like, but the only way he has that is safe is EX dive. And that shit is hard to stop all the time, which is why I'm literally saying EX dive is like his crutch. So once that's out of the play, he has nothing else. That's time being wasted and him trying to come back. And then if he try to throw a fireball, you can at least run and do DP and punish it because it has that much recovery. So that's pretty nice. That's a nice like niche thing that Percival has, you know. Yeah, like, the only thing you have to honestly deal with when you're, and I told this, I always said this. I said Percival's literally only weakness is literally when he can put his back, when his back is against the wall, he's literally free to everybody. That's literally his only bad thing that I would say about Percival, is when his back is against the wall, he's literally everybody's punch back, because he don't have, like, he's too slow. So to get out of bad situations is really hard, you know. And I could say the same thing for Bubs. Bubs, like, even though that matchup is not in his favor, but the moment he put him on his back, literally could change the tide because of how the game is. You know, everybody has an optimal punish combo that does more than 5,800 damage. You know, and if you don't have that, then I'm sorry. You know, but yeah, that's how I feel on that take. Charlotta, I think he sets Charlotta really badly.
So would you say Charlotta is slight advantage or advantage?
I would say advantage, because the reason why I'm saying advantage is because Blanca Ball is punishable. Light Blanca Ball, you have to space Blanca Ball for it to even whiff. So, like, the moment I know that you're, like, trying to space light Blanca Ball, like, it's like far M beats that. Like the literally far M beats that, far L beats that, sweep beats that. At worst you probably get a clash. At worst you probably get a clash, but even with a clash, it's not like it's crazy, right? So like if she does like M ball, it's like you're free, you know. So like the only thing you have to look out for is like what light ball, but like why are you fighting in light ball range anyway? You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. As far as that, she has to what YOLO demon flip. YOLO demon flip is not going to help.
YOLO
Like
Demon Flip was just
especially
the YOLO Demon Flip was just the 5M. So
yeah, exactly. And then also all she has is the jump. So like it's not like she has like different jump arcs. She only has that one jump L, right? So it's not like it's hard to anti-air her like any other character. So I feel like, and also for some reason, even though she's really small, it's really easy to combo her. So you get like all of your shit easy. So I just think that she don't have anything going on unless she does the same thing everybody else do when they get on top of a character, which is like force their shit, and like if you're wrong, you just die. But I don't think that's matchup related. I just think that's just the character archetype.
so
Like
go on.
like for example, like if Matera gets on top of you, it's not the same as like Charlotta on top of you. Yeah. It's just like whatever. I took this throw. Okay.
So my main reasoning for well, I can agree with the slight advantage for ups. So my main reasoning for saying Charlotta was even is mostly due to the fireball changes that they gave to Percival. So if we're like, let's say at the tip of like far H range, it's whatever. Like we can control the space there. The moment you're outside of far H range, I don't understand why Charlotta would be outside of that range, but like like half screen to full screen, that range is completely ours. It's dominated by us, right? But the moment she starts to inch in closer, becoming fireball now is more like a risk in and of itself because of how shallow of like how narrow Charlotta's jump is. So if you're trying to do like if you're trying to do like far M or far H into fireball, she could just easily just jump in and punish you on landing because of just how shallow her jump is. So it kind of makes it harder to play. So in the range that we're effective at, it's really good for us. But the range that she wants to be in, it's really effective for her because it's just like, okay, pre-practice is like if I threw light fireball, she has to guess. Now it's more like if she thinks like she doesn't even have to. She could just react at some certain ranges, but she could just easily react to fireball. And it's just like, okay, now we're out our back. Now we're in the situation that we didn't want to be in to begin with, all because I tried to keep her out. So like it it's really weird. Like if you can keep Charlotta out, sure you win the matchup. But the moment she's a little too close for comfort, now you might have a little bit of problems because now you have to guess, now you have to like deal with her pressure. She has this really stupid jump arc, which is really weird to anti-air if she's just like trying to consistently jump at you because Percival's 2H sometimes doesn't hit her and it'll whiff and she gets to punish you for it. And then on top of that, like even if like you slightly miss space far 5H, like if she's like outside of far 5H and you misspace it, that's a free EX Blanca ball into a knockdown, and now we're back on our backs. Now she's at range 0, and now we're at this uncomfortable range where she could just do what the fuck she wants, and now we just have to take it until we get our DP back.
So my take on that is the way I look at Percival's fireball, it's not like a regular fireball. It's more of like it's a projectile to allow you to do what you need, or do or accomplish what you need to accomplish. So because the fact that she has to traditionally go through fireballs against him, which is like jump because you can't spot dodge it, that's a free stop. So even though you're throwing like fireball in like that mid range where like even if you jump you get no reward for it, the fact you get a stop is you're already winning. Because the thing that makes the matchup even more harder is because if she does a misspace Blanca ball and you do far M into stab, that's 2,800 damage out the window. I mean that's 28 damage out of her life that she has to, to get. So the fact that you're getting a far M off is like super good, right? Or if you get, for example, she like if you're just doing it off of a block stream, then yeah, it's predictable. But if you're just doing raw fireball, I don't think she could see like a raw fireball just getting thrown out. And even if she doesn't jump, like the fact that that fireball pushes her back at a certain distance, like that alone is keeping her in mind, like, oh, this fireball is also an option that I have to anticipate, right? Like like the fact that Percival's far L looks like fireball already makes it hard for her to kind of like anticipate a fireball. It's really hard to just like it's really hard to react to it when you're playing in the mid range because of that. Because there's so many other options she has to acknowledge. Like you could do like a slide, and if she's not looking for it, there you go. Now you're in a decentable position. It's not like she has normals that she could like move herself forward fast. You know, she has to commit. So even in that range up close, she still has to kind of commit, and that's her best range. Believe it or not, like up close, she still kind of have to commit to certain things because of like your normals and like how your normals hit and how active they are. You know, they're pretty active for this game's aspect. It's pretty active. So she has to be pretty preemptive jumping and like, yeah, your 2H might whiff, but you know what's godlike? Shoot, jump L. Jump L smokes most of air normals. I mean, yeah, it may not get the godlike reward, but you stopped them. You know, you stopped them really, really good. And I think that's pretty consistent, regardless of the reward. It's just about the consistency of just keeping her out. Because her goal is she has to get in anyway. So the fact that she got kept out, she lost. So when I look at that, I think just like she is literally like in that matchup, she's literally has to play one trick pony. She has one way to get in, and that's jump. And if you know how to work around her jump art, yeah, what else does she have? She has Blanca Ball, but she can do EX Blanca Ball to get in. That's fine. But now Blanca Ball is out the window. What else she has? That's the thing about those type of characters. It's like they can do these moves, but what else do they have? Like, you know, they have to make commitments. They have to run up. They have to do this. But you have the thing is that when they use a move, you have to have the mindset of like, oh, they're gonna do these options because that's all they have. You know, you have to anticipate those options. And then if you're good at like scouting that out, then yeah, like what is there to be afraid of after EX Blanca Ball? You know, and that's if it hits. You know, what if you block the EX Blanca Ball? She's losing. You know, she's banking on that. So yeah, I just think that, and also another thing I want to throw out too is I don't only use far H bodies are free, but I only use far H because they're like it's such a high even though it's a good turnaround and high reward, it's a high commitment as well, and you don't even need to commit to it really. You know, you could just use 2M, you could use far M. It's not like she could just beat far M, you know. So like I feel like the only time I use far H, honestly, if I know that they're just going to sit there and I'm like, oh, you're going to sit here? Cool. You know, but if I'm not sure if they're going to sit here or not, then I don't really need to use that move a lot, right? So I just think that in terms of normal presses, I just think that, yeah, bro, like far M, 2M, far L, 2L, sweep, you know? Like, even though sweep is a high risk, you can still cancel it. You still got to respect that option, you know? Yeah, like, even with those normals alone, I don't really see how she could just, like, even be even with that, you know? Like, there's nothing really that she has besides like three things, you know? And it's her damage output, her jump art, and what else? Hands, you know? But all those options are like, except for hands, all of those options are like, you know, it's mild risk, you know? So
Okay.
that's my take on that.
Wait, you said that's advantage or slight advantage?
I think it's advantage, personally. But I mean, honestly, if you want to look at it from like when I think of slight advantage, I think of like what is this? So advantage is 6'4", right?
Yeah. No, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So advantage, I definitely think that matchup is 6'4". As far as Grand, I think that matchup is 6'4" too.
You think Grand is 6'4"?
Yeah, I think that matchup is free, bro. Like I could beat that shit in my sleep. There like I may lose to a 2 out of 3 because it's tournament. It's designed for anybody to win. But if I play a grand player more than 20 games, they're definitely going to be losing the majority of those matches. That's all I'm saying. I am a billion% confident about that. Free. That matchup is free for Percival. I don't think Grant even slightly wins. I think that matchup is a struggle. Like my man is crying in that matchup. Especially that they nerfed his damage too, it made it even harder. See, pre-patch, I would think that was a slightly advantage, but the fact that his damage output got him weakened on like how to call characters out on like their defensive options definitely made that shit even harder because the moment I call out your defensive options, my reward looks the same. So I think that match is really hard for Grant. I think Grant only has one good thing, and that's unique you. Unique you and 2M.
Yeah, 2M are kind of annoying.
I mean, it's not that annoying, but it's a thing that you want to respect, right?
Yeah.
Because it's plus on block. As far as Jita, slight advantage. Bellio, slight advantage because Bellio is he has so many options. So even though like you slightly win, it's still hard. Yeah. I think Latiba has advantage, but it's a grappler, so you can literally just put that on a coin flip.
Yeah, that's why I put her slight advantage because you guys wrong.
I mean, if you really want my opinion, I think Percival beats her pretty bad. But the thing is about it is like anytime it's like a matchup, it's like a grappler. It's like the moment a grappler knocks you down, there's no matchup on the screen. It's literally flip a coin. That's literally what it is. Flip a coin. That's grappler 101 shit. As far as Lawayne, I think Lawayne versus Percival, I think that is slightly now because of the actual buff that Lawayne got actually helped him out quite a bit. Like I don't think he's like a super godlike character or anything, but like it like kind of it like it's one of those things where like the matchup it helped him like have an advantage. Like it like all the changes made him have like nice advantages. So he's not winning, sort of say. If that makes sense. Like he's still trying to snowball you, but he don't have to rely so much on like heavy snowballing anymore. Like he can actually like do things. And it was pretty good. As far as Namaya, I think Percival slaps Namaya up really badly.
Advantage the fact that
oh, that shit. I want a free section, but yes, disadvantage. I'm talking shit. But yeah, advantage. That's pretty nice. The fact that she can't do EX slashes anywhere.
And the fact that
yeah, I mean even before that shit was free. So now and then also when she does like that side shit, you could just do close M hits from behind, and you can confirm off close M again. So it's like nice little niche things that you kind of do to like interrupt her quote unquote gimmick because that's most of the way how she kind of gets in. As far as what Zoe, I think that's a slight advantage. Sometimes I question that's actually even because that dragon change her M dragon change is actually pretty obnoxious to deal with. I haven't fought a super good Zoe in a long time, but when I play bits here and there, I feel like that change really changed a lot about that matchup. In a good way for her. And I actually don't. I probably if I practice and play it, I would say that matchup was actually even now because of that change. That change is really good because the frame traps and then the fact that my normals already have like big hurt boxes. So like any timing that I'm off is like really good for her, right? It's like really good for her. And the fact that she can mix the timings up now also benefits her in neutral. So I would say that's an even matchup. As for Zeta, I think that matchup is pretty even too, I would say. I thought it was a slight advantage, but honestly, her convergence is still so good. So I would say that's an even matchup as well. Vasaraga, I think that is an advantage matchup. I don't even think slightly I lose to that shit. You know, like I don't really see any way of how this character is going to like do the things that everybody complain about. But as far as what I could talk about on Zoe, well, Zeta. So what makes Zeta even is like all of her moves actually has like less recovery now, and that alone, they make some moves faster too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may move faster than slight recovery, right? And that alone is actually super good for a character like Percival, because now I have to like really like tunnel vision, like I wouldn't say tunnel vision, but like scout out those particular options. Like I have to respect those options like really well. And then the fact that she has like a jump dive is also pretty obnoxious too, right? So it kind of makes her like a butt wild character versus like a character trying to like sit around. And the fact that she could play against that type of archetype is really helpful for her in the game, in the matchup, in my opinion. But the thing is, the reason why I feel like it's even is because of the return that I get when I'm right. It's really high. And then the moment I put her on her back, all I have to look out is parry. And then once parry's out the window, it's pretty hard for her.
I mean, for some weird reason, like I've never really, if I have her in the corner, I'm never really concerned with parry. Only time I'm really concerned with parry is typically like mid screen. Was that up? I hated this matchup season 1, but I've come slightly to terms with it in season 2 for some weird reason. I think it's just mostly looking out for her pokes, which you actually have the range to like counter poke her with. So just watching out for 2M, far 5H. Is like those are the two things I'm usually worried about. And Fireball, I'm not really concerned about Fireball. Well, her laser, I should be saying, because run up DP is still a thing for that matchup. That's probably like one of the few times I'm actually comfortable doing run up DP because they kind of shafted the range, so it's like really iffy at times whether you want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's probably like one of the few times I'm fine actually doing run up DP for that matchup.
Well, the reason why I'm saying parry is because even though even though she could like even though it's not like a crazy ass reversal option, it's still an option that you have to respect. And that's the thing. It's not like Percival has like crazy like ambiguous block strings. They're pretty straightforward. So she like if you change your timing or if you don't change your timing, she could like snipe, and then a hard knockdown too. That's another thing that makes it scary. It's a hard knockdown. As far as that, I don't think like she loses the damage war, but she does a lot of multiple hits. So I just feel like that when she gets on top of you, she really has to like she has to constantly like be right, and that's really hard against a character like Percival because of like your normals and shit like that. It's just like your normals are so good. Like far L, far M is so good. 2L is pretty good. Yeah, he just have very, very good like normals in space. As far as that, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, right?
You'd missed Kag, but I figured you'd put Kag as advantage because Fireball just fucked up everything she has.
For Kag, I wouldn't say. So the things about Kag is I don't really have a lot of experience to really say. So I don't want to have an opinion on that one because no one really played her, and like all the shit that I was doing is like training mode shit. So I have an idea, but I actually don't know. But every time I did play like just a regular one, like a random one, like I didn't feel like I was like dying or anything. But yeah, like I don't know. I haven't fought a good one.
So just my opinion on the Kag matchup, I think it's just advantage because a lot of your tools just like seem to naturally counter hers. So if she puts up like I think like the only thing that you have to be worried about is just like actually not really much. So she throws like traps on the floor, Fireball just clears it out. If she goes for pillar, that's just what I'm gonna call it, pillar. If she goes for pillar, you could just DP through it because it's not a true string. Uh, it feels like Kag wants to keep Percival away, but she does a really shit. She's like a shittier Matera, if that makes sense. Like she wants to keep you away, but she doesn't
I
have
see.
she doesn't have the
That,
tools to try and keep you away. Because
that makes sense.
you know how if you're trying to like stock against Matera, she can just arrow you from full screen and now you're fucked. Yeah,
I
Kag
don't
doesn't
think
have
she
that.
has like. Yeah, she don't really have that besides Rock.
Oh, not even Rock, because like if you step away full screen, she just can't stop you from stocking. Like
The
it's
Rock
just
doesn't go full screen.
oh, Rock does go full screen, but the shit is so slow you can react to it and dodge it. So
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, she don't have anything.
like so you could just stay full screen, stock up. Okay, now that I'm fully stocked, we can commence. We can actually start playing the game, and then it's whatever.
I
So
see. Makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. What else? Saurus. I think that matchup is advantage for Percival, but Saurus is Saurus. Like
So
he
yeah,
could just, yeah, he could just sow you. You know. A lot of people always talk a lot about like, um, that this character is like underrated. I don't think anybody's underrating this character. It's just the fact that a lot of people are getting away with a lot of shit that a lot of people don't know, and it's really hard to like exploit that when you're playing online, in my opinion. Like this character, like characters like this, they are good on. They are looking for you to fuck up. So the moment that you fuck up in a delay, their character's gonna get rewarded. And the things about it, you can't really tell that to people because their pride it gets in the way and they fucking get butthurt. But it's not disrespecting the player. It's saying that this character is taking advantage of shit. It's that simple, you know? And that's crazy. So like I said, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's better than anybody else. So that's what I always say. Like the characters that are low tier in this game, like my low tier is like it's like Saurus, Narmaya, and fucking like what like
Matera.
Lwane. Nah, I don't think Matera's that bad actually. I just think like I just think that she's just hard to win with, in my opinion. So I would say like Lwane, right? But they're not bad as in like they're low tier because they suck. They're bad because I think everybody else is better in
Yeah,
that aspect. Yeah, they're just like they're just like the junior varsity football team. That doesn't mean they're not football players. They're just JV. You know, like that's what I mean. Like they're just JV. They're not varsity. It's just JV.
I think that's like a huge misconception that most people have. That like when we say
Yeah,
when we say a character like you keep in mind that when we're talking about Grand Blue, like the lowest tier, arguably for me, I don't know how Kisley feels, is B tier, which isn't
yeah,
a
I agree with
bad
that too.
thing. So
It's
like
not.
it's not saying the character's bad. It's just that there are several other characters that you can pick with, and you would win a lot easier than if you would have stick with your B tier character. But you can win
Yeah,
with a B tier
or
character. Fucking Taichi won.
yeah,
Taichi won with Matera.
yeah,
Like
and like like I think that shows a lot that like as I said that I always said it. I said even though these characters may not be good on my list, that doesn't mean your character can't win. You're gonna have a harder time than others, and like your character is gonna get exploited better than easier than others, but you can still got it because if you think about it, if somebody does a wake up DP, everybody has the same high damage output. So that means that you have the higher chance of coming back. Of course, some characters have better damage, or some characters have better reward and like better setups after that. But the fact that you have one is still you can still change the tide. Uh, and also, like I said, like even though Lwane's bad, he still has like broken ass like comeback factor shit. The fact that you have to run at him and kill him because he could just mash eat and he can like YOLO meter because for some reason like the lower health you get, the faster meter you get. So that means that he gets like a YOLO fucking sandwich and he gets like 75 meter off that. Like he could get 2 supers off. He could get 3 supers off if you really wanted to. Shit like that. Like you gotta that is a godlike thing to have. It may not be like consistent, but the random factor is good because it's tournament setting, right? Because that's if we're gonna look at it, it's tournament setting, right?
yep.
So in a tournament setting, like that 1% can change the game. So that's why even though I don't think those characters are good, they're not bad. I just don't think they're good in compare to everybody else. Jita, I think, like I said, I think that matchup is slight. I only played Diaphone's what's that character's name?
UL.
Yoel. and I played like bits and pieces of other people's. Like I played what's that guy from Seattle? What's the guy from Seattle? Zombie.
Oh, Zombie.
I played his a little bit. Uh, but I feel like he was still kind of inexperienced with the character compared to like Diaphone. So I can't really tell. I can't take those matchups like that. Those matches we had into like high consideration of like this is how the matchups was played because he wasn't doing the things that like Diaphone was doing to me. That I was like, oh, I didn't know about this, you know, and shit like that, and setups and shit like that. So as far as that, I definitely do think that Percival has a slight advantage, even though I'm not super experienced with that matchup. Just by just looking at what Percival can do and counter, even with the basic level, already shows promises, and that's just basic. You know, like that's basic punish, right? Like I don't have to like go on my way to like figure anything out. It's literally like 1 + 1 is 2. So I think that slight advantage, but it could be developed to more. I think it has a lot more room to development actually. Um, the only thing that is going to be the hardest thing to deal with against her is her far M, and that's literally it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, because the thing is about it that makes it hard to deal with is it leans her forward very fast, and it's like what 9 frames.
9 frames, -3 on block. Special
Yeah,
cancel.
9 frames. Yeah, 9 frames, -3 on block, and the fact that it's confirmable. You know, so it's a very good WoW tactic button. It's a good WoW tactic button, right? And it's good for her archetype because that's technically what she kind of is, right? So that's pretty good. As far as that, yeah, you know, she's pretty straightforward. You just got to really scout all her options. Belio, that matchup is pretty annoying because you have to respect Fireball as much, but that's all. I feel like Fireball is his best tool, and then once that Fireball's out the window, he doesn't really have much to like prevent Percival to like doing what he wants to do.
So the thing about Fireball is because of the recent patch notes, I think Fireball is less threatening than it was beforehand. Uh, I think it's definitely Percival advantage because I think he's like one of the few characters that can challenge Belio 5H and just his shit in general.
Yeah, 2M, neutral jump, spot dodge, and shit like that.
Oh no, just light DP. Every time you see Belio 5H, just light DP. He can't do anything. So yeah, if Belio does 5H on the first hit, you input light DP, and no matter what,
it's OS. Yeah, no matter what, if he does an option, it automatically comes out because the far HH is a true block screen, or far H is a true block screen. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, so,
I'm just saying like other options. Like you don't have to deal with that mind game because like you could like avoid it. I'm just saying like you have normals to avoid that.
Yeah,
because 2M has like a weird priority against that shit where if he tries to press a button and he reels in the 2M and you get a counter hit. So like, and because it has like that nice recovery, you can actually block in return. So like he has to like really look out for that. But the problem is he has to walk into like far M range to like do that. So that's another thing he has to keep in mind.
And then on top of that, the Fireball Wars is kind of nice now because pre-patch, if you was trying to throw a fireball at him and he just like switched to a follow-up, the fireball would still hit you. Your fireball would knock him down, but his fireball would still hit you for like 5 hits and he still gets like a little bit of frame advantage. But because of the recent patch notes, if your fireball hits him, regardless if he goes for the follow-up or not, his fireball just disappears. So now that you get your free knockdown, you get your free stocks. Like I feel like in most matchups, Belio wants to be closer Belio wants to be closer to Percival than typically, but because of like the fact that Percival has counterplays at his normals, it makes it harder for Percival. I mean, it makes it harder for Belio to like try and enforce his will, I guess is the best way to put it. So it's just like no matter what range I'm at versus Belio, I'm still kind of comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I like a lot of people were saying like Percival lost to that shit. That shit was a lie, bro. That's basically really it. Like I said, I don't really think that he loses to anybody. Like I don't know what Fame did to you, Like, I'm sorry, my condolences. Like, you know, I hope you're doing better now. Like, I have a couple of like therapists that you could hit up. You know, like just I DM you after this and shit. But like, you got to stop with that cap shit, bro. That
Bro,
shit is not in his favor. I could literally sit in training mode with you right now and explain everything that you're probably having a hard time with, and have 5 answers for them, bro.